Love is the pursuit of the whole. A house that has a library and it has a soul. Those who wish to sing always find a song. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. You're my star, a stargazer too, and I wish that I were heaven with a billion eyes to look at you. Bodily exercise, when compulsory, does no harm to the body, but knowledge which is acquired under compulsion obtains no hold on the mind. The price good men pay for indifference to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. At the touch of a lover, everyone becomes a poet. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. Death is not the worst that can happen to men. When men speak ill of you, live so as nobody may believe them. Writing is the geometry of the soul. Ignorance the root and stem of every evil. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. People are like dirt. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. The madness of love is the greatest of heaven's blessings. Only the dead has seen the end of war. Courage is knowing what not to fear. The measure of a man is what he does with power. A hero is born among 100, a wise man is found among 1,000, but an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. Musical innovation is full of danger to the state, for when modes of music change, the fundamental laws of the state always change with them. The object of education is to teach us to love what is beautiful. The beginning is the most important part of the work. Education is teaching our children to desire the right things. Those who tell the stories rule society. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help and what they cannot. Necessity is the mother of invention. Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say something. There are three classes of men: lovers of wisdom, lovers of honor, and lovers of gain. Do not train a child to learn by force or harshness, but direct them to it by what amuses their mind, so that you may be better able to discover with accuracy the peculiar bent of the genius of each. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. Duty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Good actions give strength to ourselves and inspire good actions in others. How can you prove whether at this moment we are sleeping and all our thoughts are a dream, or whether we are awake and talking to one another in the waking state? No man should bring children into the world who is unwilling to persevere to the end in their nature and education. Love is simply the name for desire and pursuit of the whole. If a man can be properly said to love something, it must be clear that he feels affection for it as a whole and does not love part of it to the exclusion of the rest. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. I would teach children music, physics, and philosophy, but most importantly music, for the patterns in music and all the arts are the keys to learning. Character is simply habit long continued. An empty vessel makes the loudest sound, so they that have the least wit are the greatest babblers. There is in every one of us, even those who seem to be most moderate, a type of desire that is terrible, wild, and lawless. One of the penalties of refusing to participate in politics is that you end up being governed by your inferiors. We can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark. The real tragedy of life is when men are afraid of the light. In politics, we presume that everyone who knows how to get votes knows how to administer a city or a state. When we are ill, we do not ask for the handsomest physician or the most eloquent one. Those who are able to see beyond the shadows and lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed, by the masses. You should not honor men more than truth. Every heart sings a song incomplete until another heart whispers back, "I'm trying to think, don't confuse me with facts." Opinion is the medium between knowledge and ignorance. He who is not a good servant will not be a good master. There is no harm in repeating a good thing. The soul takes nothing with her to the next world but her education and her culture. Justice means minding your own business and not meddling with other men's concerns. The measure of a man is the power of his reason, not his possessions. Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom, wealth, and poverty. One is the parent of luxury and indolence, and the other of meanness and viciousness, and both of discontent. The direction in which education starts a man will determine his future life. Rhetoric is the art of ruling the minds of men. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Courage is knowing what not to fear, and unexamined life is not worth living. The price of apathy towards public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. The first and best victory is to conquer self. No wealth can ever make a bad man at peace with himself. A good decision is based on knowledge and not on numbers. The beginning is the most important part of the work. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help and what they cannot. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. The soul of man is immortal and imperishable. The community which has neither poverty nor riches will always have the noblest principles. Those who seek power are not worthy of that power. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. Poetry is nearer to vital truth than history. The madness of love is the greatest of heaven's blessings. A house that has a library in it has a soul. Nothing in the affairs of men is worthy of great anxiety. The direction of the mind is more important than its progress. When men speak ill of thee, live so as nobody may believe them. Time is the moving image of eternity. Wealth is well known to be a great comforter. False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. Knowledge is the food of the soul. Ideas are the source of all things. The measure of wisdom, silence. The untrained mind keeps us in chains.